Thanks. Mechanically inclined. Okay.
All right, here we go. First spot. Thank you for being up here with us. Thank you for hosting us. Great entry. Thank you. Mine's all right. So to kick us off, if you wouldn't mind, Muriel, not everybody, hopefully all of you are shoppers at Vitamin Shoppe and familiar with the brand, but you give us a little bit of history and a little rundown on Vitamin Shoppe?
Sure, I'd love to. I'm a New Yorker, so I've known the Vitamin Shoppe for a long time. It actually started in 1977 in New York City on Lexington Avenue and 57th Street. And our founder at the time, Jeff Horowitz, he had two businesses. He had an ice cream store and he had a Vitamin Shoppe. And he had to make a decision as to which one he was going to spend his time and invest in. And lucky for us all, he decided on the Vitamin Shoppe and started out, as I said, in 1977. And the mission of the Vitamin Shoppe has always been the same. It's really to help consumers on their journey of health and wellness, because it's a very confusing category to navigate. And trained health enthusiasts, as we call them, can really guide you on your journey for health and wellness. Today, there's so much more information that's out on the internet than was back in 1977, but it's not all correct. And some of it is confusing, some of it is in contrast to each other. And so the mission of really having helpful advice is something that has been part of the company for a long time. And we continue to invest heavily in education to make sure that our health enthusiasts are really, really knowledgeable and up to date on all the latest trends. So since 1977, the company has grown. We're now just close to 700 stores and a handful of franchise stores as well. And we're across the nation now. We're in a very few international companies right now, countries as well. And as I say, the mission remains the same. We have a very broad assortment of vitamins, minerals, and supplements, probably the broadest in the country. And which is great because when the pandemic struck, we were the go-to place. You know, where did you want to find zinc? You thought of Vitamin Shoppe. But now things are different. Pandemic is over. People are out. They're back at work. They're back at the gym. They have different things that they're thinking about. And once again, if they're thinking about whether it's magnesium, which we talked about, or creatine, berberine, or anything else that is in the news for really improving the quality of your health, we are the go-to place. And we really take that really seriously, that the health enthusiasts are knowledgeable, that they provide good advice and have great credibility, and that's important to us. So that's how we started. Fast forward to where we are today. That answer your question?
That's fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And you hit on a couple of things we're going to get into today, which is a ton of information out there, and needing to have that reputable, trustworthy health and wellness kind of guide, if you will. And a lot of changing trends going on from, even pre-COVID and COVID, kind of some of those, I'll get into, you mentioned zinc and some of the others, but as kind of that trusted expert in the space, you guys put out a trends report. And kind of give us a little bit of the background on, I know you've done it a couple years now, what was the genesis of that, and tell us a little bit about the report.
So the report is actually on your chair, everybody. This is the trend report that we referenced. It's the second year that we did it, and we realized that we had a very unique window into what was going on in the category. Not only do we have the 700 stores that we talked about, we not only have sales data, which is in real time, we get every day, we find out what sold the day before, the top 50 items. We all see it. And so we'll know if creatine is trending or berberine or whatever it might be. But in addition to that, we have a great website. Very often we see things spike in terms of searches on the website before it actually comes into sales. So that's a great window for us. So what we decided to do was take the information that we had and marry it up with some other external information. We subscribe to a service called Spins, which gives us a lot of data across the channels. It tells us what's going on in the natural channel and in mass, as well as and how we compare. in terms of our sales. It doesn't tell us sales by account, but it gives us trends by channels. And we look at that very seriously, because if we're doing well in something, we're always watching to see if other channels are going to catch up to us, and then what's the next thing we're going to work on. So we took our own data, we took the SPINS data, we actually commissioned a study to understand people's attitudes and how they're changing about health and wellness, because they have changed a lot, as we referenced, since the pandemic. And we also do a consumer study every year. So we kind of took all that data together and really put together this trend report. And I think that what you'll see, some of it is very intuitive. You hear a lot in the news about hydration, how important that is, and not just with drinks, but as well as powders that you might mix within certain drinks. You hear a lot about energy drinks. It's been in the news a lot lately, a lot having to do with the fact that it is caffeinated in most cases, and so we want to make sure that that goes to the right customer. Magnesium has really been explosive over the past year. You've probably all seen a lot of articles about everyone is all stressed and can't sleep, and as a result, magnesium is one of the products that people are using to help them both with stress and with sleep, and has a lot of other great qualities as well. And another one is creatine. I love to talk about creatine because this is a product that we've carried for many, many years, and all of a sudden we saw all those indicators from our health enthusiasts, what was going on the website, people were talking about it, and it wasn't just the gym rats that were wanting to use it. It was prescribed for older people, for health in their muscles. It was prescribed for women that weren't getting enough nutrition. And that business absolutely increased fivefold from the pre-pandemic time. And so that's something that we see continuing. It's continued all year, and predictions are that the business is going to double again over the next couple of years. And then finally, it's something we call fit lifestyle. And we noticed that a lot of the customers that used to come in for protein or for creatine or for pre-workout, all of a sudden were thinking more holistically about their health. And they were all of a sudden thinking about green foods and superfoods. They were thinking about joint support. They were thinking about brain support. And so we put together a section in the front of our store that we called Fit Lifestyle. And we curated products that we thought were the best of the best, geared towards that customer. And it's been very, very successful, and something that we see as really an emerging trend that's going to just continue to grow over time.
Fantastic, thank you. Yeah, that's and I enjoyed reading it ahead of this session. But quick question on the energy drinks: are they kind of replacing pre-workouts? Has that been part of the rise of energy drinks, or? I
don't think so. I mean, I'm sure some people may prefer just to have a drink, but what we've seen is that the growth has really come because there's been such innovation in the marketplace, whether it be flavor innovation. Every time you turn around, there's a new interesting flavor, peach, blueberry, or watermelon, lime. There's been a tremendous growth of the business because of what's happened on social media. And whether it be TikTok or influencers or YouTube, there's been a lot of people talking about energy drinks and the innovation that is in them. And a lot of it has to do with flavors, and a lot of it has to do with collaborations that are happening. And one of the ones that is just launching today actually is called Kim Aid, and it's Kim Kardashian doing a lemonade type product for a line new. But these things have now become, they're happening all the time. And it gets consumers' attention. When G Fuel did something with Pac-Man, I mean, sometimes it's flavor related and sometimes it's nostalgia related. It's lemonade from Rise. I mean, the list of collaborations and partnerships just goes on. And a lot of that gets the consumer's attention, but then the product has to be good. That can get you the first sale. You get the first sale because you get their attention, but for it to be a sustainable business, the product has to be good. And we get that real life feedback from our customers really frequently. And so I think that's really more the growth of energy drinks. It's really more about the innovation.
Got it, yeah, and being healthier, Yeah, I think they got a bad rap early on of just being, super caffeine and kind of some of that jittery concept. So without putting you on the spot of like an awkward pick your favorite child kind of situation, which do you think is the most disruptive in the space of the 5 trends you've highlighted for us here?
Well, I don't know about the word disruptive. I think the trend that's going to go on for the longest period of time is fit lifestyle, because that's something that's just going to continue to expand and grow over time. I mean, we've seen even Chris Bumstead, who has been Mr. Olympia Classic Physique for 3 or 4 times in a row now, and he's behind the line Raw. But he's also a part owner in a brand called Revive. And Revive also talks about liver support, heart support, focus, brain, etc. So I think people's cognizance and they're paying attention to what's going on. That's really the longest going trend that I see. For this moment, we're having tremendous business in drinks, whether it be energy drinks or hydration drinks. I mean, the numbers are all triple-digit increases in all cases, and that's fantastic. Creatine I talked about, and that should double over the next several years. Magnesium is certainly something that's not going away because stress is not going away, we all know that. But really the whole concept of fit lifestyle is something that really has resonated with our customers, and it really has given the health enthusiast something else to talk about when a customer comes in for a pre-workout or for protein, to really expand their horizons. And so that's, I wouldn't say it's my favorite trend, but it's the one that I think that's going to be around the longest.
Got it. And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Health and wellness, and not being necessarily, it doesn't have to be the Mr. Olympian, right? So all bodies and being comfortable in your own skin, but also adopting that fit and healthy lifestyle.
Oh, I think we have a picture. Yeah, we have a picture on the left side, on the bottom. So, as Lee said, I hope you're all customers, but if you're not, please do shop our stores and you'll see it right up front.
Muriel, any success stories coming out of this? You've mentioned a few brands who have done a really nice job of leaning into these categories or segments. Success stories you would want to highlight coming off of some of these trends, or highlighting maybe some of the work you guys are doing in store. You mentioned you put a section up front in the store. How else are you guys highlighting these in the store to take advantage of the trends?
Yeah, well, putting something front and forward in the store, that's pretty valuable real estate, so we definitely do that. Other things that we do on an ongoing basis, that our social media team, when they see something happening in social media and we want to make a quick hit, we might put together an end cap in one of our stores. We have a section called What's Good. It might be highlighted on our blog. We'll put it up quickly on the web. And we see this happening more and more with the rise of social media. I'll give you an example. We saw something happening when the air quality was really bad a few weeks ago. Remember that? Well, the teams worked really quickly and put together really kind of a menu of things that you should take during a time of difficult air. And we got it up on the web. We got everyone to the stores, and we let everybody know. Berberine is another example of that. It's been in the news a lot as it's been called nature's Ozempic. It's really not, but it's definitely something that it's a good product, and it's in the news a lot. And so what we might do is we might have as I mentioned, an end cap at the end of one of our sections. We feature it on the web. We talk about it in our blog. We let the health enthusiasts know kind of the do's and don'ts of berberine and why it's good, and what you're allowed to say. So we've really developed a culture and a process for watching what's happening and making sure, most importantly, that the health enthusiasts are well informed, and two, that we have the inventory. If something is happening, we need to react quickly. And that's something that we've gotten pretty good at. We saw a few years ago, was it only 2 years ago, Jack, when we saw creatine was beginning to really surge. And at the same time, we heard from our private brands team that there was going to be a shortage of creatine. And as a result, the prices were going up pretty dramatically. And We didn't wait. We didn't think about it. We just made the decision. We had enough data that we felt that this was going to go on for a while. And lucky for us, it did go on for quite a while, and we got a lot of the inventory. It was much harder for other people to get, and it cost them a lot more money. So we were in the great position of being kind of the go-to store for creatine when it was all over social media, in the news, and a lot of other people didn't have it. Some brands did have it, and certainly we had an assortment, not just of our private brand, but we had, from Optimum Nutrition, from Concrete, from others. But that was a great example of how kind of we watched the trends and reacted pretty quickly to it, so that our customers would find what they were looking for, and the health enthusiasts would have the information. Yeah.
And information, good, bad, or indifferent, social media is getting the eyeballs, and there's a lot more influencers out there. How do you balance the influencers versus your enthusiasts being the experts in store, and how much do you have to kind of be that source of truth?
Yeah. No, that's a good one. And I think that there is so much with influencers out there, and some of it is authentic and some of it's not. And we've had examples of products that were pushed by an influencer that absolutely didn't move because it wasn't authentic. And when influencers are authentic, it really does make a difference. And I think customers are really knowing the difference now between what's really authentic and what's not from influencers, because a lot of them are paid. They get paid X amount of dollars to do one post. That never works. It really only works if it really is something authentic. And a few years back, I think it was Vital Proteins, collagen, when Jennifer Aniston, that was organic. She wasn't paid for it. She talked about using it and how it made her hair shiny, and it really did work. Now, ultimately, fast forward, I think she has a different relationship. But when something is authentic, customers sense it, and they know. And if it's not authentic, it dies pretty quickly.
Yeah, can certainly understand that. And with your own brands, does that lead to, I guess, how much the creatine story is a good one of your own brands? Mm-hmm. So looking at Vitamin Shoppe brands in-house, are you guys actioning off of these trends, or are you already there in all of these categories with own brands, and how are you developing some of your new products?
That's a great question, because as I mentioned, one of the things that we're very fortunate about is that if there is all of a sudden a surge for zinc, we are the natural place to look, and and we do have it from third-party brands and from our own brands as well. And we have a really good balance. I think that's mine. I'm going to turn that off. Sorry about that. We have a really good balance in our assortment between our private brands and which are about 25% of our business, a little more, and our third-party brands. So we really are able to offer the customer choices, and the health enthusiasts are really good about going through the product and saying, look, if you want whatever it might be, here's this product, here's how many servings it is, this is what the ingredients are. If you show a new product to our health enthusiasts, the first thing they do is they turn it around, they look at the label, and they start reading it. And that's something really, really special, and I think that helps them help the customers. And as I say, I'm really proud of the way our assortment is, because it is a broad assortment. We carry many, many products, many, many brands, but we work really carefully to make sure we're always having the best of the best. And we have a good balance of private brand, nationally known brands, and then new emerging brands as well, because customers always want to know what's new. Even if sometimes they'll come in for what's new, or then they'll decide that what they have already is what they want. You always have to have that newness, because that's what gets customers' attentions a lot of time. It's not just a question of replenishment, because then you're not an exciting retailer. And so we work really hard, the merchant team does, to always show new products, newness, new brands, new categories, new delivery systems, new ways of helping customers on the journey. And that's really what works. It's that balance. Can't be just one thing.
It
Yeah.
speaks to the importance of your enthusiasts,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
They are the consultants.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 when I go into the store, I'll have a general idea of what I'm looking for, but I have no idea which. Otherwise, I might have bought it online and had it shipped to me from.